Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here. I'm Flying Pig United with another... Oh, shit, sorry, I got the volume up on here. Let me turn that down. With another little video for you guys and gals. Just a rundown of the latest Manchester United news of the day and all the goings-on at the football club and just reaction to the game yesterday and a bit more. And also the latest in regards to the Manchester United Takeover. We're going to be getting into it raw this evening. Hope you're all doing well tonight. Thank you very much for getting in and joining us, guys and gals. Who have we got in here? Rushmano, how's it going, lad? Kerfuffles, what's going on, dude? Abjif's in here. Bell6891. We've also got Rajat in here. The Mooch Baby. And Madhouse. How you doing? Rory, A7, Superfat Frank, Gaming Simp. Let's go. Coda. Beats Guy, what's going on? It's Alex, mate. I haven't seen you in ages, mate. How you doing, lad? AKA the Beats Guy. What's going on, my son? Red and Old Dirty Benjo and Anthony Charles on the Head Football Live. Marky Nurse, how you doing, bud? Ika Ichsani, Pete Morris, Taco LaBelle, Henry, Sphinxu, Anthony Charles, and everybody else as well. Sorry if I missed any of you, but we can't say everybody. Thank you very much for getting into the stream and getting in here. Thank you for joining us, guys. Do us a favour at the start of this one. Hit the like button on this video. Drop a thumbs up. Also, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And just get yourself in there and say hello. Okay, guys, so we're going to get stuck into the latest news. We're going to... There's a little bit of fallout from the game yesterday. First thing I want to talk about is this. Fulham, Silva, Mitrovic charged after incidents during the FA Cup quarter-final. Get in there, my son. What a crazy game that was. Just to react quickly to that once again. I mean, what an absolutely ridiculous game of football. We were definitely the second best team up until their complete implosion when Williams got himself sent off for the handball. After that, Mitrovic has reacted in a very petulant way. He's not taken the decision, for what it was. He's obviously wrong because it was the correct decision. William was right to be sent off for that intentional handball on the line. And it was a penalty, of course. Mitrovic got in the face of the referee. And he's going to be receiving a lengthy ban, it seems, guys. And Marco Silva, I don't know if you saw Marco Silva after the game, but Marco Silva, was basically just lying. Wasn't he? He's basically just lying after the game. He said, something along the lines of, I can't remember what he said, but he's just a lying bastard, basically. He just didn't really want to own up to the fact that his players were in the wrong. And he obviously lost his head himself. He said he shouldn't have said what he said to the officials, blah, blah, blah. Should have kept himself, with a little bit more control, but he didn't. And basically what's happening now is the Football Association have announced that the standard punishment for his dismissal against Manchester United, as in Mitrovic this is, would be clearly insufficient because of his outright, let's be honest, guys, intimidation and physical conflict with the referee. That's a big problem here. I mean, you can't deny Alexander Mitrovic's passion. I still want I still would take Mitrovic as a backup player at the United. This doesn't really change anything for me. People are forgetting Cantona kicked to Palace fan. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's good to have passion. It's good to have more passion than no passion. But he did let his team down big time against Manchester United. No doubt about that. But he's still a very good goal scorer. I mean, look, he scored a goal against us. He was looking dangerous throughout the game. He's got like 11 odd league goals. I would still have him at Manchester United. Not as the first choice striker, but as a backup striker. Why not? It would be a good player to have around just to, bolster our options up there. Give us the ability to have depth. I mean, I do rate him more than Wout Weghorst, to be perfectly honest with you guys. Like, he is a good player. Smash a 1 in the chat if you would still like to have Mitrovic as part of the squad. I'm not saying United should make him our #1 striker signing in the summer or anything like that. But I still think he's a very good player that should be on United's radar personally. Lots of twos coming in the live chat. Nobody wants this guy. I mean, he's clearly a very good player. It doesn't really change anything for me, to be perfectly honest, guys. I think as an option for, somebody off the bench, as an option for rotation, he would be pretty decent option still. So he's obviously a player that, is a bit of a, bit of an enemy towards Manchester United at this moment in time. But like I say, his attitude to me doesn't really come into it. He's still a proven goal scorer. He's a bit hot-headed. Crikey, are people forgetting Roy Keane and Eric Cantona? Do you know what I mean? Like, but either way, it's probably not going to happen anyway. There's no real I don't think there's any real links or any true outcome that could be in the summer that he would even sign for Manchester United, to be fair. I think we're setting our sights a bit higher than that in the summer. We're talking about people like Victor Osimhen, Harry Kane, maybe, Kylian Mbappe if we get Qatari owners in. That's sort of what Manchester United are going for. But still, Mitro, proven in the league, proven goal scorer. Anyway, he's lost his head. He's lost his cool. And, he tried to grab the referee, Chris Kavanagh's arm. He pushed him. He's got right in his face. And he's probably going to receive, a 6-game ban or something like that. Let's read you the statement anyway from the FA. But the FA said this. It's just breaking this evening in regards to the FA statement in full here. It says, Fulham, Marco Silva and Alexander Mitrovic have been charged following the incidents that took place in or around the 72nd minute of their tie against Manchester United in the FA Cup on Sunday the 19th of March. It is alleged that Marco Silva used abusive and or insulting words and or gestures and or behaviour towards the match referee. That he used abusive and or insulting words towards the fourth official prior to his dismissal, and that he also used abusive and or insulting words and or gestures and or behaviour towards the fourth official after being sent off. It is further alleged that in throwing a water bottle in the direction of the assistant referee, his behaviour was improper. The FA claimed that the standard punishment, which would otherwise apply to Alexander Mitrovic for the sending off offence of violent conduct that he committed towards the match referee, is clearly insufficient. In addition, Alexander Mitrovic's behaviour and or language was allegedly improper and or abusive and or insulting and or threatening following his dismissal. It is also alleged that Fulham failed to ensure its players conducted themselves in an orderly fashion. What an absolute implosion, though. One of the most entertaining halves of football I've ever seen in my life, to be fair, guys, because United were pretty crap in that game. We were looking like we were going to get dumped out the FA Cup. And after they scored, even after they scored the first one, we didn't really look like we were going to score and get back into the game. They were the team that was actually coming forward still and maybe looking to get that second goal. So United were not at the races in that game. But thanks to Willian's handball, thanks to that red card, thanks to the giving away a penalty, and thanks to Mitrovic's outlandish reaction, and thanks to Marco Silva shitting the bed as well, they were all sent. So they were all sent, which meant that we were playing up against 9 men, and we dominated the game, guys, after that. And obviously Bruno scored the penalty, and then straight away Sabitzer scored. It was just an absolute dream turnaround, of which we weren't really expecting based on the performance that had happened up until that point. So Fulham definitely chucked it away. Yeah, Willian's one thing. He's on the line. He's trying to stop the opposition scoring. He's used his hand. That's one thing. But Mitrovic's reaction was absolutely disgraceful, to be fair. And Marco Silva's reaction was absolutely disgraceful. And what's funny about it is they were both completely in the wrong. So there's no, controversy here. There's no justification for their behaviour. It's obvious that they were wrong. It's obvious that Willian had committed that foul on purpose there, and that it was a straight red card. And so their reaction was absolutely improper. And so we don't have times or lengths or anything like that from the FA at the moment, but that is the statement that they have released anyway. But Mitrovic, I'd expect he'd probably get banned for at least 6 games for his behaviour, which is essentially double what he would be getting for violent conduct. So what do you think, guys? How long will Mitrovic get banned for? Let's have a little vote in the live chat. I'm thinking 6 games, but who knows? Who knows? I mean, it was pretty unacceptable behaviour. The referee had to act, and maybe you'll see more games than 6. Maybe you'll see, I don't think it'll be any less than that, though. 10 matches, says Abjir. 5, says Eamon Barrett. 8, says George. 5, says Kerfuffles. Mick Bell says 8. 27 years, says Peter. 6, 8, or 10, says Booty. 5, says Butterpants. So anyway, they definitely let themselves down there, but they didn't let Man United down, did they? They actually helped. They actually completely won us that game, in all fairness. So thank you very much, Mitro. Thank you very much, Marco Silva. And thank you very much, Fulham, for a thoroughly bloody entertaining game of football, I tell you that. And it wasn't one up until that incident. But after that, it became brilliant. So I'm, very, very happy with that. Anyway, just wanted to mention the game. It's not all positive, actually, from post-game. You have got information coming out about Rashford. Marcus Rashford will not be part of England's squad for Euro Championship qualifying campaign later this week, as the Man United striker had to pull out through injury. He suffered a knock versus Fulham and will miss the England games. I mean, good. As long as it's not that good he's gotten knock he's going to miss England games. I'd rather him not play against, for England anyway over this period of time. He's in amazing form for Manchester United. Just put your feet up, Marcus. Relax and come back ready to do the business for Manchester United. You know what I mean? Hopefully this is one of those Fergie knocks. Do you know what I mean? One of these Alex Fergie knocks where they just miraculously get some sort of an injury when there's a bullshit international break period. Do you know what I'm saying? Hopefully it's a Fergie knock, and we see, we do see, Rashford absolutely fine and fit to come back at the start of April for Manchester United. Abjir, thank you for the $2 super chat. He says, but no ban for Bruno for doing the same thing. What are you referring to there, Abjir lad? What is that in reference to? I'm struggling to even remember what you mean, to be fair. Thank you for your super chat, though, Abjif. Let's go. What's he on about, guys? I don't remember Bruno Fernandes doing that sort of behaviour, mate. What, as in Mitrovic getting in the ref's face and pushing him and that kind of thing? No, come on now. Dilly Hill says, great news. Exactly, so Rashford not being fit for England is not really a major concern, is it? It's more the fact that we want him back ready to play for Manchester United after the international break. And that probably will be the case, as long as it's not a serious knock that he sustained against Fulham, because I don't think really he is all that bad. Maybe he's got a bit of a bruised finger or something. I don't know, I really don't understand. But either way, he's got a bit of a knock apparently. He will miss England's games, but that's not bad, is it? It's not bad for Man United anyway. Bruno's wasn't the same thing, says Eamon. Precisely, yes. It wasn't the same thing at all. I mean, Mitrovic is literally getting in the face like violently intimidation here. Do you know what I mean? Have you seen Mitrovic, mate? He doesn't look like the friendliest fellows at the best of the time. He's getting right in the referee's face there. He's pushing him. It was a threat of violence from Mitrovic essentially towards the referee. So that's where the difference is. It was very, very much unacceptable behaviour. So I don't think it's the same. I've never seen Bruno Fernandes do anything like that remotely half as bad. Maybe he does, contest and complain with refs. I see, but he's never done that, mate. Right, let's get into this. By the way, Sabitzer after the game, he said whatever happens in the summer. He's been asked about whether or not he'd like to stay at Manchester United. He says whatever happens in the summer, we will see. I take every game as it comes. Very happy to be here. I will give 100%. I'm very happy to be part of this team, this amazing club, and I feel very welcomed. I'm very happy at the moment. So I'm very happy to hear these quotes from Marcel Sabitzer. I think he's a very good player, isn't he? We've sort of landed on our feet, getting him in Jan. And I think we should make his move permanent if we can. Absolutely. I mean, we don't know how much money it would take. 20 million, maybe a little bit more, but he's certainly a player that could add to our midfield options. We know that he's better than the likes of McTominay. I mean, McTominay, again, was absolutely crap yesterday. And as soon as he actually went off, Man United did look better. That's the sort of impact Scott McTominay has on the team. So if we could go and get Marcel Sabitzer and make him permanent and then get rid of McTominay in the summer, that would be an improvement, wouldn't it? And then we've still got Fred and Eriksen to come back and Casemiro. And then we could just go and sign like a boss midfielder in the summer. And we probably have a really good set of midfielders then to contend in all different competitions. So let's see what they got in the live chat saying. What would you like to see happen with Marcel Sabitzer? Keep or just let him go back? What do you reckon, guys? But to me, I mean, I think he's shown his qualities. He's shown that he is a good option for us. He's a better option than basically anybody other than maybe Casemiro and Eriksen. So for that reason, I would say definitely get him in this side. And that was a lovely finish from the guy as well. That back heel was so good, wasn't it? Everybody in the live chat says keep. Rushmano says McAverage is just shite. Time to go. 5 years of guff. Well said, Rushmano. Well said. I was saying that in the watch along yesterday. Like, it is just a case of he's had like 2 or 3 good performances in 5 years now. And you can count them on one hand, really. That Leeds game, that City game, and that's basically it. It really doesn't offer you that much. He's literally, like you say, muck average. Muck average, indeed. Hey, Eddie's Football Waffle, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you, good to see you. Thank you, everyone, for getting in. By the way, do us a favour, hit the likes button. We've got 150 legends in here. Let's get 150 likes on the stream. It will boost us up on the algorithm and help the channel out. And it's free, so hit the like button. Also, we've pinned the tweet to the top of the live chat. Give us a share anywhere else as well. But if you want to give us a retweet on Twitter, then there is the link at the top of the live chat. Please give us a cheeky little retweet. Nice one. Pete Morris says, keep Sabitzer. Newcastle wants McTominay. I think he deserves to go play there. Sell him to Newcastle, says George D. Absolutely. Get rid. I mean, I'd be surprised if Newcastle actually wanted Scotty McAverage, to be fair. My personal opinion is his standard is like Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest standard, somewhere like that. And that's after they've been relegated. That's not now. That's after they've been relegated back to the fucking Championship. You know what I mean? That's his standard. But hey, look, if Newcastle want him, then more for them. We've also heard some reports that Newcastle would want Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire's another one, isn't he? More for them if they want Harry Maguire. He's a good player, but he's not a great player. I think Manchester United struggled in that game so much yesterday simply because the spine is gone. We didn't have Casemiro. What a loss he was. We didn't have Varane. What a loss he was. And then you go and replace those guys with McTominay and Maguire. It's absolutely fantastic, guys. There's no real quality and depth there. So that's why United were so poor in that game. I mean, it's not, I don't think we can blame it just on two players. The whole team wasn't good. Sancho didn't play well. Veggie was completely ineffective up there. Obviously, the whole team didn't play good. But I think it stems from, there's a lack of confidence that comes into the side when you've got Maguire starting in the back line and you've got McTominay in midfield. That's just something you can't get away from. We do not ever look as good with those guys in the team. So I agree with LOL. He says, sell McTominay and Maguire, buy a striker and a DM, get Ahmad back next season. Good shout there, LOL, like your style. Bet Berber says, McTominay on the Old Trafford turf is like watching Bambi run across a minefield. Definitely, just slightly more damage done. He is absolutely a hindrance. So anyway, McTominay out, Maguire out. It's got to the point of their careers, I think, where they've proven that they're just not quite United standard. And it probably makes sense for us to move them on in the summer. So sell in the summer, please, those guys. On a positive note, so we talked about, Sabitzer's comments here. We've got to love his responses to being asked questions about, the next games. And he's obviously very confident in his United teammates and his team. And rightfully so. Because look at these results since Manchester United have returned from the World Cup. It's only really that Liverpool result, which was an absolute, let's face it, it's an outlier of a result. It's a freak occurrence. But have a look at United results since returning from the World Cup here. Here's some stats for you. 25 games, 19 wins, 4 draws, 2 losses, 54 goals scored and 10 clean sheets. You what? That is some fantastic form that Manchester United are in under Erik ten Hag post-World Cup. 2 defeats in 25 games. We've got our first trophy in 6 years, 3rd currently in the Premier League. We're in the Europa League quarter-final against Sevilla and the FA Cup semi-final against Brighton. I mean, what an unbelievable season that Ten Hag is having, guys. He deserves a heck of a lot of credit. Yes, he obviously didn't get it right yesterday, but we still ultimately were shone on by the football gods, and Fulham have gifted us that win, and we are through to the semi-final. So it's not all perfect, but crikey, I mean, you look at these statistics, and they're very, very impressive, guys. They're very, very impressive. So, yes, let's get a hashtag ETH. In ETH we trust, because he is doing absolutely fantastic things with this squad. And considering the squad is a squad that is lacking in a lot of areas, still to have that sort of record with most of the players that were still here last year is miraculous. Okay, you had a couple 100 million to spend. Anthony's come in, Martinez, Casemiro, the list goes on, Malacia, Sabitzer, Mwegi. He signed a good few players, but this is still not even Ten Hag's squad yet. This is not even Ten Hag's team. He's still having to play people like Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay. In an ideal world, he'll have much better strength and depth, and he'll, this summer, especially with new backing from new owners, will go out there in the window and sign a whole host of new players that he actually wants and that he knows will work in his setup and his team, and that who he desires, rather than having to sort of use what we've got at the moment. So considering he is more or less playing with mostly a squad that's not even his, and certainly some players who depth-wise are just not good enough for Manchester United, i.e. McTominay and Maguire and these type of guys, he's doing nothing short of a miracle job. So just wanted to show you those statistics post-World Cup, because those are impressive. 25 games, 19 wins, 4 draws, 2 losses, 54 goals scored, 10 clean sheets. Only 2 defeats in that whole time. So very impressive. Love what he's doing at the football club, and happy days long may it continue. Berber says, Sir Alex, LVG, Mourinho and Ollie players all in the squad still. Precisely, absolutely. So just as I was saying, he's still having to deal with the lingering effects of the previous regimes. He's only got a handful of players that are actually his. And in the summer, if he can go out there and sign a few players that he actually wants, then Manchester United's going to be so much better, especially when we've moved on players that we know are just not the standard at United. And it's not just Maguire and McTominay. Who else should we get rid of, guys, in this summer? Let's have your thoughts and opinions. I mean, Martial's up for debate. He's an injury-prone melter. He never plays. Veggie's played more than him since he's been in here than Martial has in 2 years. He's pointless, really, Martial, to be honest. If we could go out there and sign 2 strikers in the summer, see you later on Tony. No disrespect, I actually like him and rate him, but only when he's fit, and he's never fit. Phil Jones. What the fuck is Phil Jones still doing here, guys? I mean, he's literally glorified T-boy right now. He's doing punditry work while still contracted as a United player, mate. It's absolutely unheard of. It's ridiculous. So he's another one, you know. There's a good few that we could certainly part ways with and look to buy new players to strengthen. We could go and get some players that Ten Hag also has experience working with. We've talked about Jurriën Timber. Hey, Jonathan Gallagher says Martial's a better finisher. Martial's a really good player. When he's fit, when he's on form, when he's confident. There's a whole bunch of if, ands or buts, though, with Tony Martial and whether or not he's going to be okay. Is he up to it today? Is he confident today? Is he happy today? You know, he's not just a player that gets on and gets his head down and puts in consistent performances. Even when he's fit, he's a liability, to be fair, because you don't know which Tony's going to turn up. So, in all honesty, if there's a good offer that came in for Tony, I would get rid. Rush Mano says Lindelof, Martial, De Gea, Jones and Telles. Oh, yeah, good shout. Telles and Bailly's another one, isn't he? So we've got a couple of players that are out on loan, which don't really make much sense to keep, in my humble opinion. So, yeah, that's a good shout. Lindelof, Martial, Dalot, Jones, Elanga says a silly basic what? I mean, Elanga, to be fair, this season Elanga has really failed to impress. Previously, he has looked good. He has looked like a good young player that can maybe go on and do some very, very good things, but he hasn't really developed this season. But he's such a young player. He just doesn't really look that good at the moment, but I think we need to just keep him around a little bit more, give him a bit more of a chance, to be fair. But again, you know, maybe a loan's in his future, maybe something like that. We've got a lot of wide players, we've got a lot of forward players, hopefully coming in this summer, that will mean that Anthony Elanga's position in the club is in question, that he's not going to get many game opportunities, I think. So maybe for his own development, it does make sense to move clubs, transfer permanently, or go out on loan. Maybe that does make sense. Because right now, he's just really down the pecking order. I mean, he's far down the pecking order, whichever position you look at. So if you're talking about the wide areas, you know, you've got a kid in Garnacho who's way ahead of him. You've got a kid over on the other side, Palistru, who's way ahead of him in terms of pecking order right now. And up top there, he's just not really going to play up top, is he? So it's a fair point. What do you think about Anthony Elanga? That's a bit of a contentious one. It's only his age that makes me think give him more of a chance. But keep, loan or sell Anthony Elanga, guys. Where are you at with that? What do you reckon? For me personally, I would keep him and I'd maybe loan him out. I would maybe use him as literally a backup. That's it. Maybe as a backup. Loan, says Jonathan Gallagher. Keep, says George. Loan, says LOL. Keep, says Night Whisper. Loan, says Pete Morris. Yeah, Sheikh bin Berber says Elanga needs a loan. The amount of chances some melts have, he deserves one. So true. Think about McTominay. Think about Lingard, how long he was here. Yeah, Elanga definitely deserves a chance to try and improve. Loan, says Dilly. Elanga loan move, then ceases kerfuffles. Loan, says Mark Nurse. Yeah, we were calling it Ahmad back. Exactly, that's another one, Rajat. So if Ahmad Diallo comes back, there's even less opportunities for some of these players. Keep and loan to Preston North End, says Rush Marno. Walking in Beckham's footsteps, my lad. Get in there. Yeah, so that's a great shout. That's a great shout. Thank you, everybody, for getting your opinions in. Great shout, Lewis Eraser. So just on the Fulham chat, we were talking about Fulham a minute ago, and we did say this at the end of the game, but Palhinha would be great in our midfield, says Lewis Eraser. Thank you for your comment, Lewis Eraser. Palhinha is exactly what we need, in all fairness. He's obtainable. He wouldn't cost the earth. He's playing for a much lesser team, but he's clearly a beast of a defensive-minded sort of midfield player. And when you think about what United need, we need to bolster options in that area, because as soon as Casemiro's out of the team, which he will be sometimes, maybe his suspensions and things like that, he actually didn't get too many previous suspensions before joining Man United. He's had 2 red cards for us this season, though. And, injuries, he's only human. He's getting on a bit as well, 31. So you want to get somebody else to come in and help us, don't you? So I do think that Paulinho would be a fantastic signing for Man United in the summer as well. That's a great comment, lad. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you agree with that and you would like to see Paulinho come in. Yes, I'm with you, bud. I think as far as options go, he's a good option. I would like to see us get like a good box-to-box midfielder as well, like a Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham. And just on Jude Bellingham here, let's have a look at this. Before we do, Abjif has sent in a super chat. Thank you, Abjif. By the way, we're going to have a big Q&A at the end of the video, so we'll get everybody's comments and stuff read out towards the end of the show. But thank you, everyone, for getting your opinions in here and stuff. We will dip in and out the live chat. It is an interactive show, but we will have a Q&A at the end and get everyone's comments read out. But Abjif, thanks for your super chat here. He says, get players from RB Salzburg. They have a history of producing great players. Haaland, Mane, Sabitzer, Adeyemi, Adamu, Upper Meccano are all past players. Yeah, great shout. The Ragnick effect. Great shout there, Abjif. Love that, mate. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think we need to solely look at getting players from any one team, just the right players at the right times, don't we? But if there is a good player, absolutely. I like your style, Abjif, mate, and you can't deny that Salzburg and then, going on to Leipzig and, these type of the Red Bull brand have been pretty awesome in developing players, man. So good shout there, Abjif. They are a hotbed of young talents and production of young talents. Great shout, my son. Great shout, my son. Have a look at this, guys. So just thank you, Abjif. Let's get some hearts in there for Abjif. Thank you for another super chat, mate. Let's just have a look at this report here by David Ornstein. So, so we talk about, I've always talked about maybe wanting Bellingham. There's other players out there. Camavinga would be great as well. There's plenty of players we could go and get, but Bellingham's exciting because he's young and he's got a big future ahead of him. There is a bit of concern about going to sign players from the Bundesliga and whether or not they're going to do it over here. Just look at Jadon Sancho. But anyway, David Ornstein says, as things stand, Liverpool are increasingly unlikely to sign Jude Bellingham this summer. Get in there, you wanky scousers. That's what happens when you're shit, Enjoy your 7-Up trophy this season, Melts. It's the only bloody trophy you're going to win this season. It ain't even a trophy, is it? Whereas Man United are doing absolute bits, winning loads of stuff, potentially come the end of the season, and just a much better team at the moment. And I'll tell you something, with new owners coming in, and if United do finish the season strong, we are going to be linked with players like Jude Bellingham. Doesn't seem we're really linked with players like that at the moment because of the previous sort of guff time we've had over the last few years. But if we finish strong end of the season, win a bunch of trophies, get our name out there, new owners come in, there's a huge project and huge belief suddenly around Manchester United, we can sign anybody. So it says here, the expected price and financial power of rivals puts Liverpool's hopes in doubt. The pursuit is not off and no firm decisions, but senses that Man City and Real Madrid is in stronger positions. And the reason they're in stronger positions is because, they're competing for Champions Leagues, they're competing for domestic titles, they are, well, Real Madrid were until, recently anyway, in terms of the league, they're shitting that in La Liga, but, they're obviously a top team. Man City, they're a scum team, but you can't deny they are competing for things, they are winning things. Pep's obviously a great coach and they've got a great squad, so there's a lot of appeal. And they've also got the financial power, as we've said. So in order to sign a player like Jude Bellingham, you're going to have to fork out, I don't know, £100 million, maybe even more. That's a crazy amount of money, which Liverpool probably, they probably won't want to do that. And it's arguable whether even they could do that based on the season that they've had. And if they finish outside the top 4, nobody's going to want to go and sign for Liverpool when they're not even in the Champions League. Kloppy, floppy, jalopy's having an absolute flopper all around the place. He's completely limp, mate. He's, what's the word? He's completely impotent this season, isn't he? He's absolutely can't get it up, this guy, to save his life. And so Liverpool are having an absolute mare, and he is clearly, in the mud. He's clearly in the mud. They've got a few tough fixtures after the international break as well. It's not the most appealing place to go and play next season. Oh, Night Whisper has gifted out 5 memberships on the channel. Come on, let's get an applause emoji in the live chat. Let's go, Night Whisper. Thank you so much for making 5 members of the channel. Bacon Brigade, assemble. And get your favourite emoji in to thank Night Whisper there. Thank you, Night Whisper. You're a legend, man. Let's go. Thank you very much. He's gifted a membership to Jaden, MUFC 06. Welcome aboard. Pete Morris, welcome aboard. Also, Ika Ichsani, welcome aboard the Bacon Express. Mohammed FN, welcome aboard. And El Professor, all gifted memberships by Night Whisper. Thank you, Night Whisper. You're a top lad there. That's very kind of you, mate. What a legend. Get in there, my son. I appreciate that a lot, lad. Let's go. 5 new members of the posse. Come on. Thank you, Night Whisper Dude. The almighty Screagle with the super chat as well. He comments, would you take Ratcliffe or Qatar? Jim is a fan too. To be fair, almighty Screagle, this might sound like a bit of a cop-out of an answer. I have answered this previously. We will get into it a bit later as well and discuss all the Qatar news that's coming out. But me personally, I'm not bothered, lad. You know, who would you rather go to bed with? Elizabeth Hurley or Catherine Zeta-Jones, both in their prime? You know what I mean? You're going to have a good time either way. Do you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be good either way. So, in my opinion, it's better than what we've got right now. The shithouse Glazers. Get rid of those guys, you know? I think, yes, okay, the Qatari bid gives you a lot more money. That's something very important if you want to have quick development and you really want to strengthen and overnight be as good as you can be and have the best facilities and stadiums, all that kind of stuff. So Jim Ratcliffe, though, you know, it's not going to have that same effect, I don't think. But he is actually going to, you know, still hopefully do the right thing by the club, clear the debts, hopefully give us a stadium, hopefully, you know, improvements in the stadium at least, and all areas, and strive for greatness once again with the football club. So just on that point, I mean, let's get into the updates in regards to the takeover of the club. Then, thank you for your comment there, the almighty Screagle. I mean, we do have fresh comments and fresh reports coming from Sir Jim Ratcliffe in regards to the situation. So this is reported by the Telegraph that Sir Jim Ratcliffe would walk away from Manchester United bid rather than pay a stupid price, but his intention is a benevolence, essentially, is that what he wants to do is win things. So apparently he says that his interest in buying the club is being driven by a desire to win things. Here's some quotes from him that have come out this evening from the Telegraph. He goes on to say, how do you decide the price of a painting? How do you decide the price of a house? It's not related to how much it costs to build or how much it costs to paint. He said, what you don't want to do is pay stupid prices for things because then you regret it subsequently. But he said, our interest in that club would be purely in winning things. So purely in winning things. I mean, he's not going to say, oh, we're just coming in to be Glazers 2.0 though, is he? So, you know, I guess take it with a pinch of salt, but it seems like his intentions would be good. Who knows? I don't think anybody's intentions would be worse than the Glazers because we know their intentions is just to suck money out of the club. But yes, to quote him, he says, our interest in that club would be simply, purely in winning things. So, and he said also, he was asked about the pursuit of Manchester United and if it was different to any of his other business investments. And this is what he said in regards to that. He said, that in a sense goes without saying because sport is emotional. So, you know, he seems like he has some sort of an emotional connection to Manchester United. Look, he's a Salford lad, isn't he? I'm sure he would love it. I'm sure he would love to own Manchester United. But is he the right fit for Manchester United? That is the question. In a lot of ways he is. In a lot of ways he is because of his... he is a local lad. He's a local lad done good. He's got a lot of money. People are talking about him like he's an absolute pauper. He's still worth billions, this guy. He's still worth billions, this guy. But he's obviously can't compete with the hundreds of billions that the Qataris will perhaps bring to the table in terms of their wealth. Nut, thank you for the super chat, bud. Getting in here from Norway, lad. He says, Batman is a furry. That is all. Carry on. I don't really know what that means, not to be fair, lad. You win the most random comment of the night award for sure. What the fuck's that all about, bud? Anyway, Nut, thank you so much, dude. Let's hope that we get, I don't know, like, you know, maybe whoever is the new owner is like a caped crusader. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like somebody that's like a vigilante that's going to change Manchester United and stop this rot that's at Manchester United, you know. We have got the Joker in charge of Manchester United right now. The Glazers shithouses. We've got Harvey Two-Face Dent and the Joker in charge at United, for Pete's sake. We would like to get Batman in there. Don't know what you're talking about, though, not to be honest, but just to bring it back to football there, it would be nice if we had, like, you know, superhero owners rather than evil billionaire, you know, evil owners that we've got right now, mate. So thank you very much for that comment there, bud. I don't know what you're on about. Anyway, right. So, yes. So just to bring it back to that, I think that I would be happy with either, guys. I'd be happy with either. I would be happy with either. So, yes, here's the quote here. Sir Jim Ratcliffe has insisted he will not be sucked into paying a stupid price for Manchester United and says his interest in buying the club is being driven by the desire of winning things. that's the latest in terms of Sajin. Let's talk about Jassim, Sheikh Jassim. Let's talk about the Qatar bid that could be coming in now, guys. So let's give you the latest updates here. We're 5 likes off of 100 likes, everyone. Keep smashing that like button if you haven't already. Drop a little like on this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel as well. And get yourself in there raw and say hello. So Jassim, the latest on this situation really is Sheikh Jassim will make a second bid for Man United on Wednesday. There is growing confidence among bidders that the Glazer family are willing to sell United. This is what Sky are reporting. And just, breaking news, Qatar, Sheikh Jassim will make his second bid for Manchester United on Wednesday. So there's a lot of expectation that the bid will come in on Wednesday, formal bid on Wednesday. The Glazers are holding out reportedly for £6 billion. The Qataris do not want to overpay. Abjir, thank you for your super chat. He says, I study renewable energy at uni, but QA in Qatar in all day, says Abjir. Well, Abjir, thank you. Well, listen, look, Sir Jim is in charge of a big chemical company. He owns a big chemical company, Ineos. These guys have, the Qataris have their own environmental issues going on as well. And there's human rights issues, but Sir Jim Ratcliffe is also linked to doing business with certain nations where there's human rights issues as well. So is anybody really better than the other from a moral standpoint? I'd say no, not really. So, I mean, that doesn't really come into it too much for me these days. I'm just sort of looking at who's going to be best for Manchester United. And you can't really deny that Qatar, with their potential for owning 100% of the football club, with the hundreds of billions that they've got, and the fact that they probably will invest heavily and early in Manchester United, would benefit Manchester United quicker than probably anybody else. So for that reason, I think I am just starting to lean to Sheikh Jassim, baby. I'm starting to lean to Qatar. Only because Ratcliffe seems like, he's already invested in OG Nice. There's concerns there. There's concerns whether or not he's going to have the whole of the football club, or whether or not he's just going to buy the Glazers' stake, 69% of the football club. And there's also concerns about how much he's going to invest in Manchester United early doors. There's concerns about whether he will buy Manchester United a new stadium. And it's going to cost a couple of £1 billion to get that sort of thing done. Is he prepared to invest that and inject that into United? Because I think the Qataris will be. If they're worth hundreds of billions and they want Manchester United to be the numero uno club in the world, then we need a numero uno stadium. And they probably will give us that straight away. So that's, for those reasons, I think that the club's probably in safe hands, or, in terms of ambitious hands with Qatar. But thank you for getting your comment in there. Morals out the window, says Eamon Barrett. That's it. I mean, most of these current prospective owners of this club that we're talking about, there's not much difference there to me anymore, because if you actually do your research, they all seem just as bad as each other in a lot of ways. But quite interesting anyway. So yes, so there is a big sense that there'll be a bid coming on Wednesday from Sheikh Jassim for Manchester United. The Glazers, where it's already at with the Glazers, is they are holding out for as much money as they possibly can get. They want £6 billion. Previously, people like Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Qatar, they thought about Manchester United being valued in the region reportedly of around about 4.5 billion, 5 billion, that kind of thing. So because of that, there is a bit of a discrepancy between what the Glazers want and what the new owners would like to pay. But there is going to be a new improved offer from Sheikh Jassim on Wednesday. So I think that could probably be for around 5 billion, 5.2 billion, somewhere in that region, So they were trying to get the club for 4.5. The Glazers want 6. Well, meet them somewhere in the middle then. Let's ask the chat, guys. How much do you think Manchester United gets sold for in the end? I'm going to say £5.2 billion, which will be an absolute cracking deal for the Glazers. That is a bit more than it's worth, to be fair, when you take into consideration what recent sports franchises go for, i.e. Chelsea, and you also consider the debts United have, you consider the stadium in disrepair in certain areas, leaky roof, etc. The facilities need an upgrade all round. It's a fixer-upper, this one. It's a proper fixer-upper, this one. It's not a case of, oh, this is ready to go. In terms of property terms, this is one you buy at auction on the cheap and spend a lot of time and money and sweat to invest in and fix up and get it back to its glory days. That's really where it's at. So Man United isn't a club that, in my opinion, is actually worth 6 billion right now. If we had a state-of-the-art stadium, if we had everything that we need, then yes, it would easily be worth that. Because in terms of value of football clubs around the world, I don't really see what club, there's only a few, Real Madrid, Barca, there's only a few that he could even compete with Manchester United in terms of what a club is actually worth from a financial point of view. So because of that, I think Man United will go for at least £5 billion, but I don't think it's going to get on for £6 billion. Dean says 5 bill, Night Whisper says 6, Kerfuffle says 5.5. Must Play thinks it's going to be 6.5 billion. Red says 6, 5.5 says Damien Clark, 5.3 says John O'Connor, Yusuf says 5.5, Rajon says 5.5. Most people so the popular figure there is 5.5 billion. It's probably around about right, guys, because the Glazers want 6. The prospective owners don't want to pay any more than 5. So there's going to be a negotiation period there. So we've got an improved offer coming Wednesday from Sheikh Jassim, which could be 5 billion, could be 5.5 billion. And if it's good enough, then the Glazers Sheikh houses will sell. If it's good enough, the Glazers will sell. If they stand to make billions in profit, they will sell. Chloe Jenkins, thank you so much for your super chat here. Says 5.5 and 20 racing camels. Ooh, Chloe Jenkins, that's it's a little bit, what's the word, stereotypical there, isn't it? A bit stereotypical there, Chloe Jenkins. Thank you for your super chat, Chloe. Appreciate that. Nice one. Thank you for your super chat. Okay, so, no, it's one of those, guys. It's one of those whether or not who's prepared to pay the most. I think in terms of financial power, there's nobody that's going to come close to the Qataris, is there? Timothy Robert, thank you for your super chat. He says, oil me up, pig. Hashtag dirty. Okay, fine. So a lot of people are wanting Qatar, aren't they? Let's have a vote. We do this every few days just to see where people are at. We've heard from Sir Jim, some of Sir Jim's quotes coming out this evening in regards to what his intentions are. He says his intentions will be to see Manchester United simply winning things, and that they're approaching it from a sort of benevolent position. Not the same as his other businesses, because it's an emotional acquisition. That's what he's talking about. But who would you want then, guys? Do you want Qatar or do you want Sir Jim? Let us know what you guys are saying. He's an old fan, says Night Whisper. Precisely. I mean, there's definitely positives with Sir Jim, and there's definitely negatives with Sir Jim, i.e. he's skint compared to the Qataris. No subscriber says Qatar. Red says Qatar. Pete says Qatar. Dutch Christ says Qatar. Oil me up, baby. Yusuf says Qatar. Chloe says Qatar. Kerfuffle says Qatar. Sphinx Sue says Arab Money. Sheikh bin Berber says Qatar. Mohammed FN says Qatar. Qatar, 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 Qatar. Not one person has said Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Dean says Qatar, but I would like Sir Jim, but he doesn't have that much money. Okay, there you go. So that's really where it's at. It's like I'm leaning towards Qatar as well, because it seems like their initial investments in Manchester United are going to be much more than Sir Jim. That's the only reason. If the level of investment was exactly the same, I'd probably be leaning towards Sir Jim. Of course I would. But the reality is he doesn't have the same spending power. He's not going to invest the same levels of money in the club in all areas. Sing Games, how you doing, bud? Exactly, Hamza. Qatar will make us debt-free. So they'll make us debt-free. They'll buy us hundreds of millions of pounds worth of players every season, probably. And Man United can justify it because of our commercial revenue and the fact that financial fair play will not be that much of an issue to a huge club like United that generates the cash it does. They'll also improve all the facilities. They'll improve all the, even just like the infrastructure around the stadium. There'll probably be a lot of jobs created for local people. They will improve all different areas of the club. Whereas Sir Jim coming in, he probably will strive to do those things, but it'll probably be over a 10 or 15 year period. It's probably not going to be over a 2 or 3 year period like the Qataris are prepared to do, because they will just come in and spunk money straight away to try and make this as state-of-the-art club as it can possibly be, which is why I think it is better for us to get Qatar now, really, as well. How's it going, Lee Waters? Good, mate. Thanks for asking. Thank you very much for asking. New stadium or upgrade Old Trafford, says LOL. It's a hot topic. It's a nice talking point. We like to talk about this. Me, personally, I want to keep the old half of the old stadium. I know there's got to be ways you can expand. There's a train track, there's obstacles. It's not all that easy. Me personally, I think you've got to try and keep the character of Old Trafford, but you can keep it and also revamp it and rebuild stands and that kind of thing. You don't necessarily have to just knock it down and start again. But maybe in terms of facilities and it actually being state of the art, maybe that is what you need to do. If you look at, the new Wembley Stadium, you look at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, you look at some of these stadiums which, the rebuild jobs, they're rebuilt for a reason, because the old building, the old structure that was there is just not really, it's just not really modern at all. And it would be quite hard to modernise Old Trafford. It would be a lot easier to just knock it down and rebuild it. But that goes against what I was just saying. I think you do have to keep the character of Manchester United because it's iconic. Old Trafford's iconic, and but you can do things to improve the stadium and improve the facilities and improve every aspect of the club without just giving it a lick of paint. I'm talking about rebuilding stands. I'm talking about rebuilding, facilities and everything there. So it is possible to revamp the club, but I think the easiest thing to do would be a complete rebuild. Yeah. Red says, where would we play during the renovation? Maybe we could max out the Etihad for once in its history. Yeah, nice one, Red, except we don't want to pay City any royalties, any percentages for letting us use their backyard. Fuck those guys. We don't want to do that at all. So, we talked about this the other day, actually, and I think the best thing that Manchester United could do if they were to leave the stadium for a year or two or however long it takes to rebuild would not be to actually play at a local stadium, because some of the local stadiums, they're not going to have as much capacity. You could go and play this within, 30 miles, 40 miles. There's a lot of different options. But other clubs are going to be playing there for a start. So you're going to have to do some sort of ground share thing. And the fixtures are going to have to be changed. And it's going to have to be managed from the FA and everything. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare. The best option is just to play at Wembley Stadium, guys. Even though it's in London, even though it's not in Manchester, the capacity of Wembley's massive. The support of Manchester United all around the country is massive. It is a bit of a commute for fans from Manchester to Wembley, to be honest. But, and that's going to piss a lot of people off. But it's only temporary. It's only temporary. Sin Game says, imagine it's Anfield. So what do you think, guys? What stadium would you like Manchester United? Kelvin says we could play at Everton. Okay, but then again, they're going to have to do something with fixtures, aren't they? That's the thing. Abjif, thanks for the super chat, lad. He says, after the Champions League win, Qatar out human right people now be Qatar in, says Abjif. Abjif, thank you for your super chat, mate. There you go. Well, it's not as clear cut as all that, is it? Thank you very much. Chloe Jenkins says, Pig, the council owns the City Stadium. Okay, interesting, but surely in terms of the revenue that gets generated from that stadium, there's obviously a revenue share that's going on, Chloe, with Man City and the council, I guess then, right? So Man City obviously generate a lot of cash from the ticket sales, all 7 of them. I take that back. They generate £2.50 a week from the ticket sales that are going on, right, in terms of revenue shares. So Manchester United couldn't just play there for free. I'm sure of that. So Man United would, in terms of their amount of money that they can generate, they would obviously be hindered massively whilst away at a different stadium. Now, it doesn't matter if you've got Qatari owners, but if any money goes to Man City as well, then we don't want to know about it as far as I'm concerned. If any money goes to Man City, we don't want to know about it. I don't know it's interesting, Chloe, interesting comment. I don't know the deal they've got. I don't know the percentage of ownership. I don't really know. I don't know about that, to be honest. But as long as we don't give any money to City, then it may be okay. But if Manchester City are getting any pennies from us, then they could absolutely do one. They could absolutely do one. I'd rather play in Wembley. Sin Games of Qatar have so much money, they can reroute the train tracks and the canal and give us the space we need. Spot on comment there, Sin Games. That is very interesting. Yeah, I mean, crazy. That would cost crazy money, though, wouldn't it? And just the engineering feat in order to do so, etc., it would be difficult. But if anybody can do it, it's like you say, they've got so much money, it could be them that could do it. So, yeah, quite interesting. Watch this. You sent me Rush Money. Let's have a look at this. There's some new PR spin coming out from the Glazers this evening. From Sky Cave reporting that the Glazer family will sell, but only for the right price. If they don't get the asking price, they'll raise capital to invest in the club and pay down debt. Fuck off. PR guff stunt here this is from Sky reporting this evening that the Glazer family will sell, but only for the right price. If they don't get the asking price, they will raise capital to invest in the club and pay down the debt. What a bunch of scum-sucking mollusks. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's obviously just mind games. They're trying to squeeze as much cash out as humanly possible from the potential new buyers. Let me get this up on screen, guys. It's just come out this evening. Thank you, Rushminer, for sending us this. But a bit more information here just in regards to what we're talking about just there. So the Glazer family will sell. This is from Sky Cave, but only for the right price. If they don't get the asking price, they will raise capital to invest in the club. What we do not want is them staying. What we do not want is them raising capital and paying off debts. It's too late for all that. If they were proper owners who wanted to do right by the club, they'd have already got this club debt-free. They've been here for 17 years, for Pete's sake. 17 years and we're still 500 million in debt. I mean, those are not good owners. Those are not owners that care about getting rid of debt. I mean, yes, okay, if somebody else is going to come in and invest and buy a piece of the pie and then they don't have to spend any of their money and they can clear debts, maybe they will do that. But I think this is just mind games from the Glazers. They're on a PR stunt here to try and, squeeze a few more extra pennies out of the new owners, guys. That's what this is all about. So anyway, thank you for sending that, Rushmana, you legend. Chloe Jenkins says, difficult. The two counties don't like each other, says Chloe Jenkins. Yeah, it's difficult wherever, very difficult wherever United would go and play, to be fair. That's a really fair point. Like, where would we go and play our football if Old Trafford was out of order for a long time, That'd be very, very difficult to justify us going to play at the Etihad because it's just wrong. By the way, guys, we've got 118 likes. Thank you, everyone, for hitting the like. We can do better than that, though. Bacon Brigade, assemble. Let's smash 169 likes just like that. Hit the thumbs up button if you're getting in here. Give us a boost up in the algorithm. Also, if you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button. You can chat if you're subscribed, so get yourself subscribed. Then you'll be able to chat. Would be Everton pig, says Kelvin Currens. I mean, I don't think so. We're going to go and play in fucking Liverpool, are we? You know what I mean? I know it's not that far away. Geographically, it's not far at all. But we're going to go play in Liverpool every week, mate. Do you know what I mean? What? You know what I'm saying? I don't know about that, but don't know about that. There is nowhere else, says Kelvin Currens. Wembley, mate. Play at Leeds, says Kerfuffles. Leeds would be sickening as well. Look, okay. Manchester, actual fans in and around Manchester would be pissed off if Man United was playing at Wembley. I completely understand that. But, you have to remember about Manchester United is it is like a truly global club. And Man United playing at Wembley, they could fill out that stadium every single week. I don't think there's probably another club in the Premier League, I mean, apart from London clubs, obviously, that are near Wembley, that could even remotely do anywhere near what we could do in terms of filling up Wembley every week. But Manchester United actually could. So, it's not going to be popular with, the local fan base, to be fair. But it's only temporary. That's what I'm trying to reiterate. It would be a temporary thing. And it would be better, if not financially, then it would be better just from a PR type of stance than playing at the shitty Etihad or something like that. Or playing in Liverpool. So I just don't think... there's no easy answer, though. I guess there will have to be a conclusion reached for something like that, yeah. William Reedy says, I'm sick of the stories lingering. Well, hopefully we won't be lingering too much more because, like I say, Jassim's second bid is reportedly coming in Wednesday. So hopefully we do see more movement and good stuff happening then. Needs 75 plus capacity, says Kerfuffles. Kelvin Currens, it's the only option, says must play. Vuti says that's bad for all the season ticket holders who are lifeblood of the club. Oh, it is. Local people would be very annoyed about that, mate. Absolutely, they would. I mean, but it's a fair point. But do they want to travel to Liverpool every week? Wigan Stadium. Oh, Sing Games. That's quite interesting. Shout. Wigan Stadium. What's that called? Is that the DW Stadium or is that something else? I can't remember now. But the Wigan Stadium. That's an interesting shout. So yes, going down further down the Football League, not in the Premier League. I mean, that actually might make more sense in terms of fixture congestion as well to play in a Championship stadium or something like that because. Or Blackburn or somewhere like that. Blackburn, Ewood Park. That's a good point because in terms of fixture congestion, it's not going to be as, teams playing at the same time in the Premier League and stuff like that. So that's quite interesting. Bolton Ground is decent. Yeah, that's true, Rushmano. Bolton Ground is good. So, yeah, there's a few options there. Vutinator says the DW. Good shout, Wigan, says Kelvin. Bolton Ground. The Reebok Stadium, or has it got a different name now? I think it does, but yeah. They're all good stadiums with good capacities. You're absolutely right. So those would probably make good sense. Certainly for local people in Manchester, season ticket holders and stuff, they would prefer it to be in one of those stadiums, yeah. But you have to remember that the capacity is a lot smaller, so there's going to be people who miss out in that way as well. Whereas at Wembley, say, it could house everybody who's got a ticket still, and then some. So that's the reality there. There's no perfect fit. But anyway, it's an interesting chat there, guys. Bolton is a good one, though, Night Whisper. Yep, I agree. Bolton's a good one. Interesting. You love the top, dude. Thank you. Keep it real. Oh, yeah, mate. So, do you know what? Little story behind this top. So, I got this top a long time ago, right? And, God, what year is this from, guys? I don't even know. Is this 2000 and... God, I don't know, 5 or something? Don't know. It's a long time ago. Who knows? Let me know. I can't even remember. It's a fucking long time ago, though. Yeah, Berber says 05. So, I got this back then, and I haven't been able to wear it since, like, the last, I don't know, 15 years or something, because I've been too much of a fat bastard. and it's really tight. But I just dug it out today, and I put it on, and it fits, guys. It fits. I mean, it's not perfect, but it fits, man. It's even a little bit loose in certain areas, right? So, because I've lost a bunch of weight, like 5.5 stone, I can get into my old clobber again here, guys. Get in there, boys. Let's get hashtag get in there. Yes, that's right. You had it with Van Nistelrooy on the back, says Berber. Yeah, man. Great. It's iconic. Absolutely iconic. So, yeah, I've got Gabriel Heinzer on the back, actually, randomly. Fucking turncoat. He left us in a hurry, didn't he? What a player, though. What a player, though, for us at the time. Get in, says Sing Games. Kate Cadet says YouTube didn't notify me, Piggy. It's a disgrace. That is disgusting, mate. Thugger says, Haint, so what were you smoking? Dude, I mean, he was a great player, to be fair. He might have been Argentinian, but he was a great player, to be fair. I really liked him when we had him. He was just a bastard, wasn't he? I like a bastard, me. You know? Gungshi says, get in there. How you doing, Don Gungshope? You're doing great, lad. How are you getting on there, Gungshope? You're great, my friend. Thank you for getting in. What a legend. Eamon Barrett says, get in there. Kelvin says, Pig, if Qatar take over, do you think they'll change the name of the ground? Probably, man. Yeah, I mean, probably Qatar Airways Stadium or some shite. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, hopefully not. Hopefully the only name change they would possibly have would maybe be to build us a new stadium and call it New Trafford. Maybe that's the only name change I would be happy with. I don't want to see us commercialised in that way. We talked about that before. It'd be absolutely gash if Man United had like the Sports Direct Stadium like Mike Ashley did to St James's Park and stuff like that. It's horrible. You don't want that. But it happens in almost all football clubs. Up and down the land. It's a way of generating extra cash. But if Man United have that sort of money that the Qatar investment would bring, then I don't think we really need to have, a stadium name like that. Fair enough if you're Bournemouth, maybe it makes sense to call it the Fitness First Stadium, generate a few million quid. But if you're not, then if you've got hundreds of billions behind you, you don't need to whore your stadium out like that. I think United's a traditional club with rich history, needs to stay as Old Trafford or stay as, at the very least, New Trafford, if there is a new stadium, So that's basically where I'm at. If anyone puts a sponsor on Old Trafford, I swear that's it, says a K Cadet. We certainly do not want that commercialism at the football club at all, do we, mate? It would be absolutely gash. We don't need a stadium sponsor, says the K Cadet. We definitely need, we don't. I mean, to be fair to the Glazers, they haven't done that. If anybody was going to do it, it would be the shithouse Glazers, just to make a bit of cash. That's what they're all about. But even they, I think, would realise that the backlash from the fan base would be very strong if you just named the stadium after a brand or a company, Nobody, imagine if it was the Team Viewer Stadium or just some horrendous thing like that. It'd be absolutely horrendous. We don't want that. Although actually Team Viewer kind of makes sense for a name for a stadium if you think about it. It doesn't make sense for a shirt sponsor. But Team Viewer, that's what you're doing when you go to a stadium, viewing the teams. You know what I mean? But other than that, no, it doesn't make sense at all. Kate Cadet says the Glazers know what would happen if they did that. Exactly, there'd be a massive, massive backlash. I agree. Berber says the Glazers haven't done anything to upgrade the stadium. The quadrants were done before they bought us. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Sir Alex Ferguson, back in the 90s, you know, and he had a big hand in improving the stadium. But since then, we haven't done jack shit. All they've done is put a sign up and call it a Sir Alex stand. You know, since then, that's years ago. It's a disgrace, mate. You think Jim would change the stadium name, says Mark Nurse? The Ineos Stadium. Oh, that'd be horrible. That'd be absolutely horrible. They might want to take the devil off the badge due to religious beliefs, says Scott Makinson. I mean, that would be insane. They can't do that, bud. You know, next step, what are they going to do? Change our kit to be playing in fucking, you know, Qatari national colours, national flag colours? Hell no. You know, like Newcastle's third kit or whatever. Bloody Saudi Arabia team, basically. No, mate, we can't have that at United, you know. There's a line that cannot be crossed at United. You can't change our nickname. You can't change our badge. You can't change any of that stuff. You can't change the stadium name. You can't do that. Glazers spent nothing for 17 years on infrastructure, says Rushmano. All they do is siphon money. Chloe, I'm sorry. She says, I missed your last super chat. How did I do such a thing? I'm a disgraceful human being. I apologise. Let's go back and see what you said. Thank you, Chloe Jenkins. Says, playing in Qatar might be the plan to promote United, says Chloe Jenkins. Playing in Qatar. So we... Come on now. What are we going to do? Fly the team over to Qatar every week. We've got away fixtures though in the league, you know. You can't be going back and forth commuting to Qatar. That's a heck of a commute. You know what I mean? We can't be doing that. I mean, maybe, you know, pre-season and things like that, but we can't be commuting to Qatar. And also, like, you know, just in terms of, like the actual, this just no. I mean, they might be keen for that, but it just doesn't add up, does it? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for that to happen at all. But that would be hilarious. Imagine it's just the slow transition of Manchester United to Qatar. This is their plan all along. Buy United and move it to Qatar. You know, God, that'd be horrendous. Thank you so much for your super chat, Alec Williams, mate. Let's go, bud. Breaking news coming in on a Sky. Up to 8 bids coming on Wednesday. Alec Williams, thank you very much indeed for getting in here with your super chat. You sent in a £20 super chat, lad. Guys, let's get a big love heart in there. Thank you very much for the super chat there, dude. I really appreciate that, man. Alec Williams going in there raw, lad. Going in there absolutely raw. So, yeah, I mean, so we've heard that there's no actual names or faces or anything to these other bidders, though. So we know that there's other interest from consortiums and different sort of investment groups and things like that. The only real public ones, it seems, that have been talked about publicly anyway, is Sheikh Jassim bin Ahmad Al Thani's bid and also Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bid. I mean, there's speculation about what the other ones could be, but yeah. So just to clarify what you've said there, on the website there, that it does say that there could be different sort of you know, capital investment from other sources, other outlets that would be interested. We know that the Glazers have talked about the possibility of the Glazers staying and receiving outside investment as well, just to pay off debts and improve infrastructure without them actually selling the football club. So there's offers like that could also be coming in on Wednesday as well. But the public ones are Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and of course Sheikh Jassim. But there's another one here. Elliott Investment Management has also made it through to the second stage of the process, although the firm is said to be offering funding rather than a takeover. So that's very clear here. We don't want that, guys. We don't want funding for the Glazers to keep their stranglehold of Manchester United and milk this teat for more fucking cream. We don't want that. So the Elliott Investment Management Group, you can do one. Elliott, fucking Fred Elliott. Do you know what I mean? You could do one. Elliott Investment Management can do one, mate. Because if that's the case, we don't need the Glazers to be given money so they can keep their stranglehold of United. No, we want different owners. So yes, there are other interested parties, but are the other interested parties interested in buying the club outright, like say the Qatari owners are? I'm not so sure. But Alec Williams, thank you so much for getting in there with that, bud. Appreciate it a lot, very much indeed. Okay, so just a couple of things I want to get into very quickly, guys, and then we will get into a Q&A at the end of the vid. Yeah, full sale only. Let's get a hashtag Glazers out in the live chat. Hashtag Glazers out. Full sale only is what we want at this football club, as far as I'm concerned. Red says, did you see the Elliott Group's Google review page got destroyed by United fans? They are now 1 out of 5 rating. I didn't see that. But, you know, that's the power of the club, man. Don't come near us. We don't want your shit investment into the club to keep the Glazers here. We don't want that. Yeah, that would be terrible. Kate Cadet, thank you for the £5 super chat as well, lad. He says, rename Craven Cottage the Pampers Arena after their crybaby attitude yesterday. Oh, man, that's a good one, Kate Cadet. The Pampers Arena after they shit their pants, you mean? Kate Cadet, thank you for the super chat there, but so true. Oh, I love that, love that. Nice one. Right, hang on. I've still got plenty of stuff to discuss here, guys. Not, you know, there's a bit of information actually quickly coming in about Conte. Just want to discuss this. Rashmano, thanks for sending us the updates this evening. So, just very quickly on Conte, actually. By the way, he went in there raw after that game. Has he still not been sacked yet? Let's have a look at this latest news that's just coming out in regards to Conte. It's not to do with United, this, but it is interesting breaking news. So here it is here. Fabrizio's just tweeted, and it says, Tottenham, internal discussion continue, while Antonio Conte has not received an official final communication as of now. Daniel Levy has the final say, expected to decide to part ways with Conte. Still waiting for more talks in the next 24 to 48 hours before the final step. It seems like Conte's gone. I mean, he wants to go. He surely wouldn't have slagged off the owners and the fact they don't seem to have the ambition to win things for the last 20 years and all this stuff that he said if he actually wanted to stay. You know, he would have kept his cards pretty close to his chest, I think. But anyway, so it seems like, I don't know, man. I mean, are they going to keep him? It says Daniel Levy has final say. Is expected to decide to part. It's expected to decide to part ways with Conte. Maybe they'll do that at the end of the season. Maybe they'll do that now. No, it was never going to end nicely for Conte, but absolutely. He wants to go. Kerfuffles, completely agree with you, bud. He's clearly wanting out. And, you know, that is, he's, after what he said in the game, after the Southampton game, you know, he's certainly going to get his way, I think. He certainly is going to get his way. Right then, folks, we've been rambling on for over an hour. I'm going to get into the live chat for a few minutes and see what you legends have got to say for yourselves. Get your thoughts and opinions in about the situation with the Glazers, the situation with the Qatar investment and Sir Jim Ratcliffe and all the rest of it. Let's hear your thoughts and opinions. I'm going to start reading out all your comments now, so get your questions in, get your comments in. We're 6 likes off of 150 likes. Keep hitting the thumbs up. Give us a subscribe if you're new as well and you want to chat and say hello. Conte is definitely a loose cannon, Hamza. I did go to the doctors today on the Head Football Live. Yes, sir, mate. Yeah, I mean, I've just been referred for some extra tests, so I'm going to have a 24-hour EKG, which I take home with me. They did an ECG when I was down there. They also did more blood tests. Didn't get the results of them at the time because, well, it's my doctor's surgery and they're shite. But they said they'd call me in regards to the results of them. And also, hopefully I'm going to be referred for stress test. And I've just basically demanded to have these things done. So I told him about my low heart rate and everything. And I said, look, I don't care what this ECG says in 10 seconds. Because they gave me another ECG. I've had 4 of those in the last bloody month. I said, I don't care what it says. You know, because it'll be 10 seconds of my heart doesn't tell the story. I need an EKG 24 hours minimum. Probably a week would be nice. You know, so I'm getting referred for these. I've got to go to the hospital for them. It's just such a slow process, man, honestly. It really makes you want to have, like, private healthcare and pay shitloads of cash for it, to be honest. But there you go. Also, they stuck me twice, mate. They stuck me there, and they stuck me here, and they couldn't... she's like, oh, yeah, there's a nice vein there. She's like, oh, I can't get any blood out of that. So they had to stick me again. You know what I mean? So I got stuck twice today, mate. Pissed me right off. So I hate needles. But anyway... Thomas Frank's tip for the Spurs job is he Rushmano? Ah, very good. Thomas Frank's new Spurs manager, yeah. Interesting. You hope you become healthy. Thank you, no subscribers. I appreciate you, buddy. Kelvin Curran said Qatar will invest immediately and debt cleared immediately, so Jim takeover will be a slow process, as Kelvin Curran's. There's no cure for what you have, says Stephen Nolan. Steady on now, Stephen Nolan. That's a bit on the harsh side of things, isn't it? But I'm better. I'm not better, Night Whisper. Yesterday I felt terrible. Same sort of issues. Today I feel okay, but I'm not better, mate. No. So same lingering issues. Still low heart rate. All that's still there. Anyway, enough about me. Let's get into what you guys are saying about this football club. So Jim stated tonight he's not going to overpay. Sounds like he's backing out, says Colin Ralph. Could well be. He may well back out, but that's it. I mean, the Qatar the Qataris are going to pay more. I think that's fair. How's he going to compete, really? It's going to be tough for him to compete. Messi, how are you doing there, bud? Thank you for getting in here. Will they name it Qatar Oil Factories End? What you want about? Oh, right, Russia, Pino. I don't think so. Greedy Glazer only stole and used our money, says Hamza. Kate says, you big baby, man up, lad. Do you know how many blood tests I've had? Oh, you're hard. Kate Cadet's hard because he gets stuck with needles in his arm. And Duncan Believer says, I was shocked to find out Spurs are in more debt than United. It's around 850k, says Duncan Believer. You what? The Crown Prince is a United fan and loves football. Better him than Jim, who seems to support whoever suits him at the time. Fair one, Andrew Cos. You're supposed to be a supporter as a young lad, but fair point. Who's to say Qatar owners won't be all talk, says Jonathan Gallagher? You never know, do you? So fair point, Jonathan, but come on, they're worth hundreds of billions. I don't think they're going to come in and milk us like the Glazers. Chloe says Qatar have already said they'll match any bids. Kate's had more pricks than Katie Price says. hey, Abjif, have a good one. Thank you for getting in here, my son. I appreciate you, lad. Did I pick up a disease in Spain, says Stephen Nolo? I mean, I definitely got ill in Spain, mate. So, you know, maybe, but when I had my bloods done back in England, they said that I didn't have, the hospital back in England, they said that I didn't have a virus or anything, or an infection based on my blood. So you know, don't think it's still the case, but I mean, certainly I guess it could be lingering from having a bad virus picked up or something. Oh, really, Alex says, I had a blood test done and they took my blood from my hand as they couldn't find a vein in my arm. I almost passed out. Bloody hell, man, that sounds gash. That sounds gash. Thugger says, don't they own a bunch of banks? Seeing how banks are falling apart, maybe they'll be broke as hell soon. Thank you, OP Dragon. Kelvin says, the only person to buy United outright would be Elon Musk or Qatar. Good shout. We need a lot of money if we go full scale, says Night Whisper. Rushmana says, there's no money left to milk, hence why the Glazers didn't take dividends this year. You think the Spanish bin food is what's done you in, says KK. Juddy Sports says, oil me up. Could Dubai put in a bid and buy United, says Neil Driscoll. I guess anybody could at the moment. You know, Saudi Arabia, there's supposed to be some parties in Saudi Arabia that are interested as well. I'm sure there could be some late offers that, you know, we don't even know if it's going to the Qatar at the moment. They seem the favourites. I mean, we'll find out Wednesday on, really, because there could become a situation. If Qatar match the Glazers' valuation and want to pay it, then it's going to become an exclusive sort of takeover then, and it's like they'll have a fundamentally an agreement in place, and then it's just a formality. So we'll see. Mace Winnick says, I'm impotent, but nothing Viagra can't fix. Oh, you better go tell Jurgen Klopp about that, mate. He's flopping all over the place, lad. Yeah, Gungshi have a bid, son. Yes, that's Gungshi bid, please. Definitely. Let's get a consortium backed by the Don. Glazers stay, says Ulf. How you doing, Ulster? We know Sheikh Jassim, Manchester United fan, says Rajat. Red says, pretty terrifying. We only know about 3 of the 8 bids. What are they hiding? Well, that's it. Probably they just don't want to the PR storm to come on them in regards to you know, investment rather than takeover. Dubai will have a lot of cash. The quicker the takeover, the better, says Eamon Barrett. Qatar, the richest country in the world, to sing games. No one is coming close. You bet Zayn is the secret bidder. We all know he's a closet Man United fan. Johnny says, Pig, get Qatar to pay for health insurance, known as the Oil Me Up Private Health Fund. Yes, nice one. LOL says, no debt, new stadium, new facilities, new training ground, new local infrastructure, massive transfer budget, and true United fan. That's never had a box at Chelsea. Oil me up. Great shout, LOL. That's a good comment, actually. It's a great comment. Nice one, KK Pinella. Oh, yeah, so Police Street like Shanto, but better. Fair enough. Dutch Cries, interesting. But there is actually some comments from Ten Hag on Police Street that has come out fresh, actually. So, Eric, this is from Romano today, and it just says, Eric Ten Hag quoted on Police Street saying, Police Street can do big things at United, of course. The coaches are really working hard with him, but at the end of the day, the players have to grab their chances. So we only paid 10 million euros for that guy, and he's definitely proven himself to be good enough to stay in the squad. Like, I want him here next season. I want him here the rest of the season, getting chances. Not loads. Yeah, I don't think he's going to get loads of chances. We've got Anthony, who costs a huge amount of money ahead of him, you know. But certainly, you think about Garnacho and the role he's had this season, Pelistri can have that for us going forward as well, on the other side. So, that'd be good. On the Head Football says, FIFA tonight, Pig. I'm not so sure, actually, bud. Keep your eyes peeled. Thank you, 86 AMC. Thank you so much, bud. Yes, there you go. Hey Dante, what's going on? Says, can all 70,000 of us raise 85,500 each to do a consortium? I'm going to go ahead and say no on that one, mate. But some of us might be able to chip in a £5, and everybody else, maybe there's some people who can put in £500,000. So maybe I'll set up a GoFundMe. And if we can't reach the total value, then I guess it will just go to a charity of my choice, aka my bank account. No, I'm just joking. Right, guys, okay. I'm going to wrap up this video there. We've been going almost the length of a football match, so we better finish the stream. Thank you, every one of you, for watching this stream today. Thank you all for the mods getting in here. Vuti, Dante, Berber, Johnny Gallagher, Kate Cadet, Sin Games, of course, Mr. Rushmano, Gungshi, all these absolute legends. Thanks for moderating the live chat. All the members of the channel, thank you for being members and supporting the channel. People like Kerfuffles, Dante, Red. Also, we've got Chloe Jenkins, Night Whisper, Gaming Simp, Lewis Eraser, Kerfuffles, Night Whisper, and everybody else. Thank you, Don Gungshi. You have a great night as well, and I hope you're recovering from your Hooters expedition. You know what I mean? Get in there, my son. Okay, Jedi Stew, let's go. Yeah, one of your off-topic specialist comments actually became relevant. Pigs can fly, mate. Dutch Christ, pigs can fly. Thank you, Pete Morris. Thank you, Aaron. Get in there. By the way, I wanted to say a special thank you to Aaron, man, who sent me, randomly sent me today. I just checked my Twitter inbox, and he just goes, mate, I sent you a £25 Xbox voucher to redeem in the store. What a fucking legend. Get in there, Aaron. Thank you so much for that, man. That's very nice of you, dude. Let's get some hearts in there for Aaron, man. Top man that was, Aaron. Thank you so much for that, bud. Hope you're doing well. Have a good one, Aaron. And also, I don't know what I'm going to do tonight, if I'm going to do a stream or not, in regards to a gaming stream. I don't know what I'm going to do. So keep a lookout, guys. Keep a lookout, and, you know, keep a lookout and click the bell icon. Click the bell icon for notifications. That way you won't miss a damn thing. Thank you, everyone, for the love hearts for Aaron there. Top man, top man. Thank you so much. Guys, that's it from me for the stream. You can come back after this stream and get your thoughts and opinions in about who you'd like to see as the new owners, whether it is Sir Jim or the Qataris or somebody else. Let us know your thoughts afterwards in the not live comments section. Oh, shit, sorry. There's one more thing I want to discuss. Sevilla's new coach looks like, in fact, Fabrizio Romano has just reported this evening that I think is basically done, hasn't he? Hang on, wait. Let me just see his latest post. Sevilla are set to complete documents and agreements with George Sampioli's lawyers to sack him this week as expected. Jose Luis Mendilibar has agreed terms on a deal valid until the end of the season, as he's going to be announced new head coach. So interesting. Sevilla, obviously, we've got them in the Europa League, and you know, in terms of what this means for Manchester United, I mean, it's probably a bad thing, actually. It's probably a bad thing. I mean, they're in turmoil right now, aren't they? Because of, you know, they're 13th in La Liga. So their manager's got sacked. And because of that, you know, there's something that happens usually called a manager bounce, essentially. When you get a new manager and a new change. And so I actually think it's probably bad for Manchester United that they've got a new coach. But you never know. I mean, let's face it, they're shite at the moment. So Man United should be able to batter them in the Europa. But, you know, it's worth noting. I just wanted to mention it because obviously we've got to play them over 2 legs in the Europa very soon. So there you go. Just a bit of information on Sevilla. It doesn't really mean that much. But, you know, maybe it's not good for Man United. Maybe it's good. Who knows? Guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like this video before you go. Hit the subscribe button as well. Click the bell icon so you don't miss things. Click a cheeky little... click the link at the top of the live chat to go over to the Twitter. Give us a follow on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Twitch at Flying Pig United. Check out the website, flyingpigunited.com, for your latest news. Check out the merchandise site, flyingpigclothing.com, to get yourself a t-shirt. Also, what else is there? That's about it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate you all. Have a great night, guys. And hopefully we see the Glazers out soon. We don't want investment, a full sale only. Hashtag Glazers out to end the stream. And thank you all for watching, guys. That's it from me. Take care. And thank you once again to Rushmano. Thank you to Rushmano for keeping us up to date with all the latest goings on throughout the stream and everything. Thanks for the updates, Rushy. I appreciate you, man. And everybody else too. Have a good night, guys. That's it from me. Stay classy. You've been watching The Pig on Flying Pig United. Come on, United. Ten Hag doing bits. Just look at these statistics under Ten Hag. Unbelievable. Catch you on the next one, guys. We'll be back tomorrow with all the latest news. Obviously, on Wednesday, there is an expected bid from Sheikh Jassim. So we'll come on here throughout the day and give you the latest updates on what's going on. So thanks for being here, and we'll catch you tomorrow, guys. Or tonight, depending on what's going on. Keep a lookout. Also, subscribe to Flying Pig Gaming, because I'm going to be bringing back some gaming streams over there on Flying Pig Gaming. That's my second channel on YouTube, Flying Pig Gaming. Go over there and click the subscribe button. Catch you on the next one, folks. See you soon. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.